I understand that I am creating my own experience, essentially, mostly on a level that I don't consciously know.
Speak closer to
Closer?
the mic.
There, okay. I understand that I'm creating my own experiences. I'm creating
As consciousness.
as consciousness, yeah. And sometimes I do it. If I say, Francis, let's play tennis on Wednesday, I'm creating that experience. And you say, no, I'm not available. But I also understand.
But let's assume that you believe I'm going to create the experience of playing tennis with Francis, and Francis says, I'm not available, so you are creating both experiences, right?
Yes, yeah.
You are creating the desire to play with Francis, and you are creating also Francis's non-availability.
Yeah. Then I tell everybody here, and I'm creating their experience as well. Yeah. But I want to get into surrender and welcoming. I notice that it's becoming more natural just to have that kind of personality, attitude. And how does that deal with my creating on a less conscious level and sometimes on a conscious level with the welcoming and surrendering? Is there a contrast or comparison you can describe?
There is artificial surrender and artificial welcoming. And these are just caricature of real surrender and real welcoming. For instance, if I don't like someone, and I say, Francis has said to welcome everybody, right? To welcome everything. So I force myself to welcome this person, but I hate the guy. So it's not natural welcoming. You see what I mean? It's contrived. So that's not really the welcoming or the surrender we are talking about. And same thing about, surrender. So both surrender and welcoming have to be natural, spontaneous. And there is an order. Surrender comes first. Welcoming is the natural outcome of surrender. Now, how does surrender happen, or more precisely, what is it that triggers surrender? That which triggers surrender is understanding and experiencing. It's not an effort. It's understanding. For instance, what is it that triggered, in your case, the surrender of the belief in Santa Claus? You may not remember, but it is very likely to be some kind of understanding / experiencing.
It's the smell of the sulfur.
What?
The smell of the sulfur, as you described it.
Yeah, you too? No. Yeah. So then, once we have understood the truth about Santa Claus, does it require an effort to surrender Santa Claus? No, right? It happens by itself. So here's a Santa Claus that needs to be surrendered is the belief that consciousness is separate and limited. In fact, the surrender, what people usually believe surrender to be is, I'm going to surrender sex, I'm going to surrender good food, I'm going to surrender going to the movies, watching baseball or football or basketball or tennis on TV or live. I'm going to surrender all the good things in life. That's not what surrender is about, because the good things in life are about celebration. You see, there is only one thing to surrender, only one thing: the belief to be a separate entity. And once that has been surrendered, and through understanding, right, naturally, spontaneously surrendered, then everything else falls into place. There might be activities that we used to have that have lost their, that then as a result of this understanding, have lost their necessity. So then we stop those activities. But there are other activities we can maintain them. We see them in a new light. They are fun, they are celebration. There is no need to surrender life. You see what I mean? So the only thing to surrender is the belief to be a separate reality, and the way to surrender the belief to be a separate reality is one of the ways. Is through the understanding that there is no such a thing as a separate reality. You see, a separate reality is impossible because it means that there is something outside this reality that can act upon it, that can change it. And you know, in German, reality, they use the term Wirklichkeit, which means that which works upon, that which acts upon. So, which means that which is not acted upon, that which acts upon but is not acted upon, that which can affect things, but which is not affected by things. You know, it's a one-way street, so to speak, from reality to the object, to the world, to.
While you were talking, I had a thought of surrendering good things as well.
Surrender good things?
Yeah, like...
no need.
Well, surrendering, sometimes I have like overflowing feelings of goodness, love, and there's no particular person there or thing, so I just kind of, where does it go? I just kind of surrender it to God, myself, or whatever. I have this, I don't know. What do you think about that?
But what I call surrender is more something like to renounce something, like I want to go somewhere, and then I say, no, I'm not going to. Now, this decision can be made either in spite of my desire to still go there, or simply by a collapse of this desire, which is very different. You know, I want to go there, but then I realize if I go there, it will be more trouble than really staying where I am. So then the desire to go there collapses naturally. We cannot get rid of a desire through effort, through coercion.
Right.
We just kind of put pressure on it, but it doesn't disappear. Just there is a build-up of pressure, and at some point, the pressure cooker is going to explode somehow.
Yeah. I've tried to be very effortless in my own life when I deal with my children, right over their heads. You know. I'll work on it some more. Thank you.